Love is in the air, and you feel like you are flying high on the exciting emotions that are rushing through your heart. You are besides yourself because you finally have the man or woman of your dreams, and you can hardly hide your excitement. Just being in the same room with this person makes you giggle like a small girl and speak gibberish because you can't think straight. It feels like it's written all over your face, and so you feel that it's nothing you should have to hide. After all, you have met the love of your life, and you want to tell the whole world. Being in love is one of those feelings that you just want to share with everyone you know. This person may be your forever love, so why should you have to hide it? Well, hold your horses. Perhaps it's not yet time to go blurting out your relationship status on your social media accounts. Believe it or not everybody who is around you is your true friend. Not everybody is interested in your personal victories, and some go as far as being jealous and unhappy when your life is progressing well. Just because people like your social media posts doesn't mean they're genuinely happy for you. Jesus had many people thronging around him, but he was never once duped into thinking that all these people were happy about who he was, or happy about all the good he went around doing. Jesus recognized that even among his disciples, there was one who was going to betray him. The disciples were the people he considered his closest friends, and he shared his life with them, but he also understood that not all of them had good intentions towards him. Jesus understood that though the disciples were proud to be associated with him when he was performing signs and wonders, most of them deserted him in his time of trouble when he needed them the most. It is no different for us today. There are a few people who are genuinely happy for you when you find a partner, and they will do their part to support you. Others, on the contrary, are filled with jealousy and envy towards us, and they're not able to be happy for you. These kinds of friends may be so caught up with envy that they could even convince you to end a perfectly good relationship. So be slow to tell people when God has blessed you with a relationship, because not everyone will be happy for you. The other reason why you shouldn't tell everyone about your relationship is simply for the very fact that the relationship may not work out. I know you're excited about this person, and it feels like you're a perfect fit. You can't imagine that this person could ever break your heart. The truth is, however, that with time, the true character becomes clearer. What looks shiny to you now may not be as enticing a few months down the line. You may discover that you and this person you thought was the one are not the perfect match that you thought they were. If you do get to this point of ending a relationship, one of the most embarrassing things is having to explain to all that knew about your relationship why you're no longer dating this person. It becomes very awkward when others keep asking you about someone who you once dated but broke it off with. To have to tell people that you're no longer with this person is something that you can and should avoid. The simplest way to avoid this rather uncomfortable situation is to avoid completely telling people you're in a relationship until and unless you end up formalizing the relationship and ending up in marriage. You see, relationships are sensitive. For a relationship to grow and blossom, to become a beautiful love story, it needs to be taken care of, nurtured, and protected from the external pressures that can come from people around you. Sometimes you need the freedom to grow in love with each other without everyone giving you their opinion of what you should or shouldn't be doing. You don't need everyone giving you advice or poking their nose into your business. Let it be clear, however, that you definitely should tell one or two people about your relationship, but these should only be people who have proven their loyalty to you. It's important to know that when you are in a relationship, you must find a way to be accountable to someone, because this helps you to relate in a way that is pleasing to God. This, however, does not mean that everyone should know you're in a relationship. You have to choose carefully who really must know about your relationship status. Have a clear reason as to why you want that particular person to know about your newfound love. Many times, the Bible teaches us the value of keeping things to yourself until the dream has become a reality. Is it possible that if Joseph hadn't told his brothers of his dream, he wouldn't have been sold off as a slave? Though some may argue that being sold off as a slave was part of God's plan, perhaps he would have gotten to his destiny without the pain of betrayal. Sometimes a secret can save a life and change the trajectory of a nation. Moses was hidden in a basket, and this saved not only his life, but later saved the lives of the Israelites as Moses, many years later, led the nation of Israel out of captivity. Queen Esther conveniently withheld the fact that she was a Jew until the appropriate time, and this helped to save her people from annihilation. Rahab kept the secret that she had encountered 2 spies from Israel, and it played a big role in saving her family from destruction, and also helping Israel to conquer the land. Jesus' true identity was a secret until he was older and ready to get into ministry. Story after story, time after time. There are many Bible stories that show us that sometimes keeping your mouth shut could be a powerful weapon in accomplishing God's plan for your life. Obviously, some secrets are deadly and are examples not to follow. For instance, King David was in love with someone else's wife, and he committed sin by getting into a relationship with this lady, even having her husband killed in war so as to conceal his adulterous actions. This kind of relationship should never have been in the first place. This is the kind of relationship that should be exposed so that God may forgive and heal those involved. Abraham concealed his relationship with his wife Sarah, claiming she was his sister, and this exposed a whole kingdom to a possible judgment from God. You see, Abraham lying about his relationship would have resulted in his wife being married off to the ruler of that nation. This secret would have brought judgment upon this king's kingdom, so that this is definitely an example not to be followed. But when your relationship is within God's guidelines, you need to keep your mouth shut so that you can give your relationship the best chance of growing into a wonderful experience. Within that environment, when only a few necessary people know about your relationship, you will feel comfortable to really understand this person you're dating, and at your own pace. There will be no pressure from others to make a decision to marry this person. There will be no pressure to look a certain way, or to paint any picture of your relationship. You will be free to be who you really are. You will have an authentic relationship because you're not struggling with creating certain perceptions or with pleasing anyone except each other. The challenge is that everyone may have an opinion about the kind of person you should date, or about how you should date. Everyone has an opinion about the height, career, or personality of the person you should date. Though this is none of anyone's business, this interference can bring a lot of confusion into your relationship. What was once exciting may become a difficult relationship just because of the words of 1 or 2 people. Things of God are sometimes kept secret so as to protect them from early destructions. Silence may also protect you from unknown enemies. For God's plan to be fulfilled in your life, you may just have to decide not to tell others about it. God allows secrecy so that the enemy will not be able to destroy the plan. So keep your mouth shut, no matter how excited you are. Resist telling everyone about your relationship. Love is a wonderful blessing from our Father above. And if we lived in a perfect world with perfect people, there would be no need to keep your relationship a secret. Love in itself is a great thing, but to prevent it from being choked by other people's opinions, perceptions, or preferences, we need to exercise self-control. We should wait for the appropriate time to let others know about our relationship status. The appropriate time would be when getting into marriage, because at this point, marriage is no longer a private affair. At this stage, God is able to bless the relationship and is able to hold it together until death do you part.